Welcome to HowTo's. In this series, we're going to be focusing on learning how to use the leading CRM, Salesforce. Now, Salesforce has really grown from being just a CRM to being a tool that can be customized to be used literally in any industry. In my career as a Salesforce consultant, I've seen it being used in the software world, hospitals during the pandemic, car dealers, insurance, retail, literally any industry you can think of. In fact, a lot of big brands like Amazon, Shopify, and Google all use Salesforce in one way or another. What's cool about Salesforce is that it's not just a sales tool for your sales team to track their deals, it's much more than that. If used correctly, it can be the tool to give you a complete 360 view of your customer. What's also neat about Salesforce is that they have module better known in the Salesforce world as clouds for different teams. This includes sales, services, partners and customers, marketing, and we can even jump into different industries as they have out-of-box features built out for industries like manufacturing, nonprofit, educational, and finance. Now, knowing how to manage a tool like this makes you a very important commodity in today's world. In fact, Salesforce has estimated to create over millions of jobs by 2026 across the world. The hotspots for developers and customer service being in India and Philippines, as well as the sales consulting side being in Toronto, in Canada, United States, Brazil, Europe. Literally a lot of the bigger business parts of the world. If you're looking for a career change or to enhance your Salesforce in your organization, lucky for you, you came to the right place. This series will focus primarily on the administrator side, or we will teach the point to click features. As you're going through this, we'll start with creating your own playground where you can have hands-on experience that you can actually use in the real world. Learning Salesforce and using it as a main career or as a side career can be lucrative. Typically, developers in the western parts of the world are earning anywhere from 80,000 to 140 to 150,000 a year. Architects are making closer to the 200 plus range, and a director of CRM is probably 240 plus. Now that being said, let's get right into it. The first thing you're going to do is actually go to this website. This will be linked in our description below. Now, once you're on this website, you're going to simply go ahead and fill in the information, fill in the form. What this form is going to do is actually going to help you create what we call a playground or a sandbox or a developer environment. Within that developer environment, as you follow the series, you'll be able to actually follow hands-on and as well as solve different problems in this environment. It's totally free, there's no cost to it, and it's free to learn. And you can follow this series of videos, and you can also follow other resources online to learn various different things that we might not touch on this series. So the form is pretty simple. It just asks you for your first name, last name, your email address. In the role, if you are starting off and this is your very first time doing anything related to Salesforce, you can really go ahead and select any role. We just went ahead and selected administrator. The company, country, state or province, and your zip code is all the information you'll need to enter. Within the username, what you'll notice on our screen is that our email address and our username do not match. In fact, this is not even a real email address. The username just have to be unique. So for this email address, you can have multiple different username set up, meaning you can have multiple different free environments to learn various different things. Let's say you're building something custom in one environment and you just want to leave it for a specific project, you can leave it like that, create a very different environment to learn something new. You just go ahead and click this checkbox and then just go ahead and click on sign up. Once you click on sign up, you will receive an email into this email address you entered here. So that does have to be a real email address. That will ask you to verify the account, and verifying the account means you're just creating a password so you can use the username and the password to log into the environment. We'll go into the next step of seeing what the environment looks like. Once you went ahead and created your password, you will be logged into a page that looks like this. Now what we call this is a setup page. We'll kind of get to it, but to summarize, what this page is, if you're an administrator, you'll be spending majority of your time here, coming into this page to customize your app, customize your organization's features. This is where you come. And again, there's various different tabs here, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit later. We're going to actually focus on the rest of the videos on what the front end looks like and the different objects we're using. And if you're wondering what the objects are, we'll talk about that as well. First thing you're going to do is you're going to click on these 9 dots, and we call it the app launcher. And if you hover over it, you'll actually see that. The app launcher will just take you to different apps within Salesforce. And out of box, the way Salesforce works is they have different apps for different department. So services, sales, marketing. So if I can just type in here sales, you'll see that there's various different sales console and sales app. The scheduler is a feature within Salesforce, which we're not going to touch right now. We're simply going to go to the sales tab. Once you've clicked on it, it will navigate you to that app. Now this is just a sample dashboard. Now we can customize this dashboard to look like exactly what we wanted, but this is what we call a salesperson's homepage. They'll see, again, deals that they've closed, how many accounts do they have, building relationship. Again, this is a sample dashboard. We don't need to dive too much into it just yet. Right across the top, you'll see these tabs, and these are what we call objects. This is where each of these objects represent various different things. The main objects that we're going to focus on is opportunities, leads, accounts, contacts. We will touch on campaigns and tasks in future series. We'll also touch on reports and dashboards. The remaining, we won't really be touching on it as often. However, they will come into play in your organization if you guys tend to use it. Leads are just prospects. In a world where you're selling your product, your services, you might have millions and millions of people that you can sell that product or service to. If you're thinking of a nonprofit organization, it can be people you're trying to sign up to donate or volunteer. So these are all the people that can potentially work with your company or organization. Once we qualify them, we will convert them into what's called an account and a contact. A contact is exactly what it is. It represents an individual, whereas an account represents, in the sales world, it will represent the company that they work for, or it can represent their household, it can represent an organization. And now, if you're selling to an individual, meaning you don't sell to an organization or a company, you can enable what's called a person account. And a person account means it's a combination of accounts and contacts. Therefore, a lead can get converted into what we call person account. Now think of it like this. If you're selling a software, most likely you're going to be selling that to an organization. So that's what we call a B2B, which is a lead to an account and contact model. However, if you're selling to an individual, so let's say a product like, even as simple as a razor, right? If you're selling a razor, you're going to be selling that to an individual and probably not a company. That's where we enable person account. Now, what's cool about a razor, for example, is that you might sell it to John or Bob or Lisa.
Now, something with like a razor, you can sell to an organization as well, actually. Like, let's say you're selling it to Walmart or Shoppers Drug Mart. In that case, you'll have what's called a hybrid model where you sell to directly to a consumer as well as to an organization. So that's what account will represent. You can click into the tab. This is what the tab will look like. Of course, you don't see anything. Now, what's cool about this environment is that they do give us some sample accounts that we can play around with. You can simply go ahead and click on all accounts to see those samples. You can always click on new and create a brand new account yourself. Creating a brand new account is just simply creating an account record. So you can just go ahead and create any organization you want. So I typically go with an ABC organization. You can input any of the field information that's here. Anything that has a red asterisk just means it's required. As you can see right now, just a name is required, so we can just simply go ahead and enter a name. In the future series, you will see how we will customize this view by removing fields, by adding fields that are relevant to us. Those will all come in the future series. So I can go ahead and save that, and that's your account record. Now you'll notice that an account can have a contact, as well as opportunity and cases and various other things. Contact are just individuals that are working in this organization. Very similar to, again, if I were to look at a nonprofit, contact will just be actually similarly somebody working under the organization, or if you have a household account, it's the members of that household. And opportunities are literally just deals that you are working with on this organization. So if you're selling your software to ABC company, opportunities will be that sales process of selling your product to ABC company. It will start with qualifications. You might show a demo of your product. Then you might end up doing a negotiation of the contract terms. And then finally, you will either win that opportunity or you will lose that opportunity. Again, these are items that we will see on the future series. Now, of course, very similarly, you can go ahead and click on new. You can go ahead and click on any contact that you want to create. By entering the information here. You can also go ahead and do something very similar by clicking on the opportunity tab and creating opportunity records. You can go ahead and create those records or this episode. And in the next episodes, we'll look at how to customize these. Customize the views is probably what we'll go into next. And then we'll also look at how to customize what we call fields. So each of these columns where you can enter information, we call those fields. We'll look at how to customize the fields. We'll look at how to customize the standard objects, which are the ones we looked at in this video. We'll also look at how to create custom objects. If you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos I will post.